And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan. Once again, bringing you my thoughts of my worst films of 2024. That's right, New Year's is around the corner. 2025 is about to be upon us. So I figure I'd take this time to talk about my top worst films of 2024. Now, granted, I didn't see every film this year, but I saw enough films to that I was able to pick a list of just 7 films I did not like at all, and some where I thought were just okay and they could have been better. So I'm starting this list up. No, these are not really in particular order, but except the first one, obviously. But I'm gonna start from 7 all the way up to number 1 because I only have 7. And number 7 is a film I watched and I felt it wasn't necessary to review it because it was kind of, I couldn't really finish it, and then I finished it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna review this. I'm not gonna punish people for me listening to me babble about how bad this movie was. And this is Rebel Moon Part 2. Look, I like Zack Snyder. Clearly, there are certain things he's not good at. You know, he tried the DC universe, it didn't work out for him. He tried sci-fi with this, doesn't work. Rebel Moon was just completely bad. You know, I felt like I saw the first one kind of late, and I didn't get to do a review on it. And I didn't like the first one either. It had elements of Star Wars meets Seven Samurai, excuse me. And it started good, and then you have, what's her name? The girl from Terminator, Genesis. I mean, the final Terminator movie. I forgot her name. She's great. I just felt what they gave her did not work in this film. It just felt clunky and felt overexposed a lot of things that was going on at once, and it was just bad. The CG in here felt really bad to me, in my opinion, and I just did not like it at all. So, what can you? And number 6 is a movie I kind of do like, but I also felt like this movie wasn't really necessary to have, and that was Mufasa. Like I said, the CG in this movie is phenomenal. It's great. They really stepped up the game from the first one, from the original movie to this one. It's great. And I like the story. The problem with this film was not only that the music wasn't catchy, I felt like it wasn't necessary to have a story about how Mufasa becomes who he is. We already know how great he was. We already know that. Now, granted, it was cool seeing him get to that point, and that was cool, but you know. And then the whole thing was Scar, how he becomes Scar, and it didn't feel like, oh, that's the moment he becomes Scar, you know, like, yeah, this is how he becomes Scar, justified for what he does to Mufasa in The Lion King. But we didn't get that. He just becomes Scar after 5 seconds of being angry about something. I'm not going to spoil it. And it made no sense to me, so I was just like, you know, whatever. A film I was actually looking forward to, number 5, I have The Strangers Chapter 1. Now, there was some cool stuff in this movie I liked. I really did. I thought the premise of The Strangers is a very cool premise. I like the first movie, the original first one. The second one was, you know, same gimmick, but, you know, whatever. And I thought, okay, a new one, 2 couples, these guys come after them, and, you know, and then it sets up the sequel. But, you know, there wasn't really any, like, oomph to it, you know what I mean? There wasn't any oomph from it, excuse me. There wasn't any oomph to it, and it just didn't work for me. I thought, you know, it could have been scarier, and it wasn't. The first one was pretty creepy. There were some creepy moments in here, sure. It just didn't really get me to that point where I got chills coming in my body or anything, like, oh, man, this is creepy. The girl was cool. I liked her. She was fine. Boyfriend, too. You know, they did some things that, you know, normal people should do in a horror movie, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't just enough. So, you know, there you go. And number 4 was a movie I was also looking forward to. And I'm thinking, okay, this can be just as bad as the first one, just as good. Nope. And that's Smile 2. I know a lot of people think this might be the greatest horror movie of the year. I'm sorry. I did not like this movie. I like Naomi Scott, and I love the premise of the Smile concept. Don't get me wrong. That stuff was cool. Problem was, it just didn't work for me. I don't know what it was about this film that did not work. It was just creepy, but it wasn't, like, scary. Like, when I first saw the first Smile, and you know this is the first time you watch a new concept and you're not really sure what it is, and it freaks the hell out of you, and you're like, yeah, I want more of that, and you want the scares to come back, and then you watch the sequel and it's like, I'm ready for the scares, and you don't get it. It's like, well, there is a waste. That's exactly what this movie was. Like I said, I like Naomi Scott, and I like the story premise. She's this pop singer, she gets cursed, she goes crazy, and the rest is history. And I think the only thing good about this film was the ending. The ending was pretty cool, I'll give it that. The ending got me intrigued. If they're going to do a third one, I will go and watch the third one only because the ending intrigued me. But other than that, no. At number 3, I completely forgot about this movie. And then I watched it. And then I was like, you know what? It's too late to review it. That's Megamind 2. And then this was straight to Paramount. I completely forgot about this. I honestly thought it was going to be like a streaming movie. Like maybe go to theaters for like a couple of days and then go to streaming. I totally forgot. It was just nothing but a streaming movie. And my brain hurt from watching this movie. I love that first Megamind movie so much. And they didn't even have Will Ferrell come back. I was so disappointed. Neither did Tina Fey, apparently. They didn't come back in this film. And, yeah, I was just so excited to see another Megamind. I was like, finally, this movie deserves a sequel. And we got this. Megamind working against other supervillains that came out of nowhere. Because, remember, he was the only supervillain that we ever saw. And then, you know, Metro Man shows up and saves the day all the time. And then he created another hero who turned a villain, you know. And now all of a sudden we got other supervillains. It made no sense to me. So it was just like, you know, whatever. Forget it. And number 2 is everybody's favorite movie to hate this year, Madam Web. And I know. You said, but wait, Jonathan, you said you liked this movie. I did. But there are things in here I still did not like. It was just okay to me. I liked the premise of the film. Okay, it was about a Spider-Man without spiders, but he's still terrifying. You know, he doesn't use his powers for good. He uses his powers for evil. What kind of a world is that? And then you got these 3 girls who, by the way, you know, I rewatched the movie again the other day. Yes, I own it. I'm gonna confess that I actually own the film. Why? Just to have the Sony universe in my hands. Anyway, I rewatched it, and you know, I love Dakota Johnson, minus her and those god-awful 50 Shades of Garbage movies that she did back in the day, and I hate those movies. She was fine. You know, she didn't feel like Madam Web, you know, and Sydney Sweeney, I think that's her name, the blonde girl, who's like the new hot girl now in Hollywood. She's fine. You know, the other girl's great too. I felt like like I said, my review, when I did the movie review for this, I liked the concept of this movie. You know, a Terminator style kind of, you know, Spider-Man who's kind of evil, who will do anything, who doesn't shoot webs but can jump really high and be creepy. That was cool. I liked that stuff. It's just that I wanted more from this film. I really wanted more from it. I didn't care if it was tied into Venom or any of the other stuff. I just wanted to see this kind of creepy Spider-Man doing things and attacking these girls. And these girls have to get powers themselves. Which, by the way, they don't get powers until the end anyway. So, spoiler. Except for Madam Web. She kind of already had the powers. Plus, it amplifies until the end. So, there's that. But, yeah, it just felt like very, whatever. So, what can you do? And at number 1, a movie I did not want. I did not want this movie because the first one was so perfect. They didn't announce an actor that I kind of wanted to see in him. I go, oh, damn. Now I want to see it. Then I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay. Heard the premise is going to be a musical. Okay, I can give it a try. That's Joker 2. Yes, Joker 2. And for the record, I love the ending of this film. This film's ending is my favorite thing. Because I hate the first Joker's ending. I hate that ending for the first movie. But granted. And I was so excited. Lady Gaga was going to play Harley Quinn. A version of Harley Quinn we have not seen yet since only Margot Robbie has been playing the character. And we didn't get that. I didn't get that. We got a courtroom drama, which was fine. The courtroom scene was cool. I liked it. The music didn't bother me. I just wanted more Harley Quinn. The whole story was supposed to be Harley Quinn obsessing over the Joker. Maybe that she breaks him out. And we didn't get that. And I was just very disappointed in the film. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix once again delivers a performance of a lifetime. Obviously, Lady Gaga proves that she can act. They were fine. It just, I wanted more from this film. There was some cool stuff in it, and I liked. But I just like, why? Why could he just left this movie alone, or just give me something fun? I had fun with it, sure, but just want a little bit more to it, just a little bit more. Have them murder somebody together or something like that, But like I said, I love the end of the film anyway, so, yeah, there you go. So, there's my list for my worst movies of 2024. At number 1, I have Joker. At number 2, Madam Web. Number 3, Megamind 2. Number 4, Smile. Number 5, Strangers, the Chapter 1. Number 6, Mufasa. And number 7, Rebel Moon Part 2. Or Chapter 2, whatever you want to call it. So, there's my list. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about my list. What would you put on that list? What would you take out? What's your list look like? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much. And have a good day.